When it comes to the judging process of a First Tech Challenge tournament, there are two main ways it can work. Traditional judging, where teams show up on the day of the event and present to the judges in person, and hybrid, where initial interviews take place over video conference before the day of the event. Video conference interviews started in the era of remote events when in-person meetings weren't possible, but many events still choose the hybrid option because it provides a lot of flexibility when it comes to scheduling. Packing both the initial and the follow-up interviews into one day can be quite a task for the judges. If an event chooses the hybrid option, they can also choose whether to conduct those interviews over a third-party conference software like Zoom or Google Meet, or use the software built into the cloud scoring system. The built-in software provides some nice features, like easily shareable links from the interview schedule and ensuring that there are at least 2 judges in the room before admitting any youth participants. It's probably not a piece of software that you are familiar with, however, so let's look at a few variations on ways you might connect to it. Everything starts by logging into the cloud scoring system at ftc-scoring.firstinspires.org. Here, coaches will see a list of their teams, and when you click on one, you'll see a list of events that you've been added to. When you click on judging for that event, you'll see a page where you upload your engineering portfolio. It's a good idea to do this early in case you have any problems with the upload. If the event organizers choose to enable the built-in video conferencing software, you'll also see a link to join the video conference. Using this link allows you to join the call without signing into the cloud scoring software, so keep it secure. When you join, it will ask if you want to use your microphone or join in listen-only mode. Coaches who are acting as a silent observer should choose the listen-only option. Don't worry if you aren't able to join the judging panel immediately. The software won't allow you to join if there aren't at least 2 judges in the room, and they might just be taking a quick break between sessions. Once you're in the room, it's like any other video conferencing software you might have used before. Each device can have video on or off, and audio muted or unmuted. Your team doesn't have to be all in the same room, and you can have multiple devices in the same room. But you should be careful. Let's run through a few scenarios and talk about some things to consider. First, imagine that every team member is at home with a separate video and audio feed. This can work great, but everyone should be careful to stay muted and only unmute when they need to speak. This will cut down on extra noise and feedback, and it's exactly the kind of thing that you can practice using another video conferencing software ahead of time. You may also need to let the judges know which video they should be focused on, especially if there are a lot of video feeds in the room. Next, imagine that the whole team is together in the same room with a single device, such as a laptop. This can work great, but you may want to designate someone to move the laptop around so that it can clearly hear whomever is speaking and see whatever you want the judges to see. Keep in mind that motion isn't handled very well on some video feeds, meaning the judges might not see your smooth transition. Also, laptops try to cancel out sound that comes from the side or from behind the laptop itself, so it's a good idea to have the speaker in front of the keyboard. Finally, let's imagine that you want to get fancy and have multiple devices join the conference from the same room. Some teams like to do this because they can have a portable camera using a phone with stable audio on a laptop. While this can work great, you have to think carefully about the setup. My advice is to have all of the audio go in and out of the same device. So whatever device you use to hear the judges speak to you should also be the device that you use to talk to them. Keeping every other device muted, with the volume all the way down on the speaker, will prevent anyone from hearing echoes of themselves. If you use a phone as your camera feed, again, muted with the volume all the way down, you might have a choice of which camera to use. When you first log in, the software will probably try to use the front-facing camera, which might not be the best choice if you want the person holding the camera to be able to aim it correctly. You can change the camera by tapping on the camera icon. Just a quick note, whenever I tested changing the camera, I had to go through the process of changing it twice before it would work. Some phones have multiple cameras on the back, and each one provides a different field of view. Here you can see the judge's view using some of the different settings available on a recent iPhone. You can try them out and practice using the camera app ahead of time. There's no right or wrong way to connect to the video conference as long as the judges can hear your presentations and you can hear their questions afterwards. Remember that your goal is to share all of your hard work. The judges are excited to take it all in. Best of luck in your presentations, and I'll see you at the field.